Hello, Altman Plants. Today we're going to be talking about mums and their care during their later development stages. Here you can see a nice end cap where they're spaced nicely. You can see a little bit of room in between them, but they're not pushing into each other. What we want to be careful of at this point is as the blooms grow and they spread a little bit further, that they're pushing against each other where the blooms can suffocate each other or, kind of stunt the growth on the sides of them. But this is a good example of an end cap that we need to space out a little bit more, see how they're growing into each other. And while it looks good, it's also one where the plants are going to start to get a little disfigured. Now, as we go a little bit closer, you can see where it was pushing into it, and you can see how we need to get that spacing in there so that that doesn't turn into a worse situation. So all we got to do is take one off of the row and then space them out a little bit more. You also want to avoid having them being too close from the front and the back as well, but side to side is where you're going to see most of it. And here, all we did was take that one out, and we've got some good spacing. This will allow them to continue to grow without stunting that growth or causing the blooms to die out. All right, so now we're going to look at what we want to scrap out. And as you can see, these are very bloomed out, very good color, but there's some of the ones that the sides have gotten a little crushed in. You've got dead branches all over. So it's basically one side looks good, the other side does not look good. So this is the kind of thing that we do want to scrap out. As we look at the merchandising inside, you can also see a few things that we can work on here. Some of it's just doing some simple deadheading. We've also got to front and face our product. So what we're going to look at is you can kind of see some of the dead blooms just from this distance, where you can see the brown ones versus the white ones. So all you're going to do is work your way through and just pull those off. If you've got your cutters, you can do that, but you can also just go through and kind of pop those off so that we can get rid of some of those ones that aren't looking that great, so we can still sell the plant as it is. All right, so now we're going to work our table a little bit and just organize our rows and make sure our pots are on the edge of the table, as well as our labels facing out. And you can see it's just a lot more organized at the end of it, and that's what we want our tables to look like. All right, now finally we're going to go into watering. Now these are two different 1 gallon pots, and you can only slightly tell from this angle, but this is a very watered plant, and you can tell from the weight of it. This one was not so much, and it's very light. You want to make sure that as we're getting into these late stages, the watering is done properly so that we don't lose anything from that.